Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, this is just a place where I can just show what my process is for designing certain things. Right now I'm working on a brand identity project for a home decor blog called Holly and Pine. In the first video, I just worked on creating a logo for them. And then in the second one, I kind of just built out the logo to include a submark and a favicon. And then I determined the color palette for the brand. And then I thought since she does have a blog, then the next logical step would just be to create some branded elements for her blog. So that's ready for that redesign process. And then because in her brief she had also said that she wanted to grow a YouTube channel with some of the same things that she does on her blog and providing tips and tutorials and like inspiration for home decor, I thought today I would work on making a simple YouTube video intro. Now I actually created this video intro 3 different ways. And I tried to use programs that were pretty easy to use so that if there's anyone out there that's kind of inspired to do something for their channel, but they don't really know those complex programs like Premiere Pro, they don't want to pay for it, they just want to use what they have on their Macbook, then it's something that they could do. So with that being said, the first way that I made this video intro was using Keynote. And there are a lot of tutorials out there already showing people how to create something. For this style, I had to think really in the simplest way possible. So if you are planning on using Keynote, I would just break it down as simple as possible and think about how you kind of want this intro to look. I knew that I just wanted to do a animated logo as this style of intro, but I wanted to do it using different elements that I already created during that website design part, the divider specifically. So here I am just preparing those elements. You're going to notice that I'm actually saving the entire divider that I created as a whole, and then I'm saving out each of like the line and those 2 leaves as separate elements, because I knew that in my head I wanted the animation to have the 2 lines coming in from different directions. And if I were to just save that entire line together, I wouldn't be able to do that, because you can only animate it. It's going to save it as one picture, and then you can only move the entire image from left to right or right to left and so on. So I made sure I separated it out. So then I just opened a Keynote, a white Keynote presentation template, added a new blank slide, and that was my canvas for everything. I added in all of my stuff. As you can see, I just brought that full one in just to line up the other elements that I had. So lining up the little leaves, the line, and then making a copy of the line to go on the other side. And then I came back because I remembered that I needed to bring in a copy of the logo. So I also knew that for this, I wanted that logo to kind of slide up, but I didn't want it to go over top of that line divider with the 2 leaves. So here I am just creating a rectangle, and then I'm gonna move it behind that line divider, and then move the actual logo to the very back, and then change the color to white. So now when I do the animation, and if it's going to the bottom to the top, the Holly and Pine logo is not going to appear in that bottom half. So now it's time to animate the lines as I had imagined, and just play with the timing. This is personal preference. You're going to have to experiment and try out different things, I think, until you get something that you like. There really is no right or wrong way to do this. It's just, what do you like best for your logo and for the brand? Now, to get this as a video, what you have to do is you have to, like, when you're doing the builds, it has to take a, do it with a transition, and then make sure the build is one right after another. But if you find that it's too long of a break in between, if you say do this after build 1, do this after build 2, what you can do is just say with build 1 and then change the delay like it shows right now, so that it's some time frame less than a second. And then it's just a lot of like trial and error, trying to find what it is that you like best. And you can hit the preview button to just see what it looks like, and see if you need to slow something down or speed something up and stuff like that. So I played around with this for a while. Oh, here I am just changing it up. So once you're done, just go to the file, export, and there's the option for a movie. Now I keep it as self-playing, and then if the resolution is at 720, you can change it to 1080p, and then you can rename it to whatever you want, and it'll start saving it as a movie. Now what if you have this, I did this on a white screen, and it'll work, but what happens if you want to overlay this on top of something? Normally, there's some videos out there that talk about adding a green screen, right? So you would just change the background to green. But in my case, my logo includes green, so I can't use green because when I move it into my editing, it will actually take out the color from the background and the logo. So I have to use a blue screen instead, which is the same kind of concept. And I use this blueberry color in this crayons thing. And then here I am just kind of checking out the animation. It's exactly the same, it's just the background is a different color. And again, export it as a movie, keeping all the settings the same like the last time. And then I rename it to a file. And there it goes. All right, so the second way that I decided to do my little video intro was in a program called Adobe Spark. I just went to the website spark.adobe.com and came up with this screen. Now, now it's kind of different because I do have the Creative Cloud description, so there are subscriptions, so I do have some things available to me that I think aren't available in the free version. So you can kind of scroll and see what things, it is designed to create social media posts, but we are going to go and create a video. So I just name it to something. For this portion of the video, this was about my third or fourth try recording this process. The first one didn't work out. The second one, I accidentally cropped out the majority of the screen. And as you can see, this third time worked out, but I somehow ended up squishing it slightly. So it has a really cool feature about adding brands if you have a subscription. And so this is what I did to kind of make the editing portion quicker. You go in, you can upload a logo, some colors, and some text or some typography. So here I am just adding in the logo. I pick the logo color, and then you can choose from the fonts that they have, but you can also upload your own. And since I have a font that I wanted to use, it's a Google font, I decided to add that one in. And then just make sure you read and make sure that your font is able to, be used for this kind of platform. But that's just the basics. You have to name it to something. Like I said, I had already done this 2 other times, so I had to come up with a unique name so I could show you how to do it. And so you can go in, you can change that body font, which is what I'm doing right now. You can use any of the fonts there, but again, because of my branding, I'm using the Montserrat font for some of the body. I wanted to continue doing that. And then if you just hit the arrow, it'll appear, hit the replace button, and you're good to go. So next I wanted to add the rest of the colors from the branding that we did the other day. So this is me just going back and forth, copying the hex code, and then pasting it in to Adobe Spark. And then I continued to do that until all of the colors were copied over. Alright, now I have all my brand colors, and so now you can go in and add another version of the logo. This one I hit the replace logo because when I added it the last time it didn't work. This just basically adds is a little watermark at the bottom of your video. So next is kind of, you can edit the themes for your video templates. And so normally this is what one kind of looks like. It shows you what the different colors look like or different types of options that you have for layouts. But I wanted to create a different one using some of the colors that I had brought in, other than just that primary forest green color. So I changed the background color to that light blue-gray, kept the primary color the same, and then changed the secondary to that kind of charcoal gray from our branding, and then just previewed it. This is kind of what the different layouts will look like. So I kind of like that and exited out there. But then I remembered that I forgot to rename it, so I'm just going back in right now and picking a name that's not the same as the other ones. Alright, so now I can get back to editing my video. I can go in now and change it to that branding that I did, which is that hyphenated holly pine one. And so here I've got a few different layouts that I can choose from. I had already gone in and saved some stock video footage that I got from pexels.com. Just because this is a fictional brand, I don't actually have any footage to work with, but you might have the same kind of situation where you don't have any actual footage to use, so you might need to go find some stock stuff and use that in your promo, or in your intro, sorry. You know, you can't really see it very well on the screen, but that bottom slider you can kind of move to and change the length of the clip. And like I said, this was my third or fourth time doing this video, so I kind of had an idea as to which clips I wanted to use, but if you're doing this for the first time, it might just be a lot of experimentation. For me, one of the most important things in creating an intro is you kind of just want to give people a general idea of what your channel is about. So in this case, our channel is about doing tips, tutorials, and inspiration for home decor. So these kind of things are video clips that kind of relate to tips, and then other ones that relate to tutorial, and then maybe another one that relates to inspiration. So think about what the channel is about and see if you can find stock footage that relates a little bit to those concepts. So here I am, I just changed the layout to a title and subtitle kind of option, and I can just leave it at that and download that way, but I knew that I wanted to kind of incorporate our blue screen version from the Keynote animation and put it over one of these clips, which is the one that I'm working with right now. If you ever kind of get out of that and need to resize it, just hit that pen and then the scissors button and it'll bring you back in. So I have that. But what about music? You can actually add music to this the video that created. They have some songs that you can choose from, but I got mine from the YouTube Creator audio library thing. And just experimented with that. And then this final was, well, what if you just want to do the video in this? So here I am. I took out the last bit that I planned to do the overlay with, and now I'm just adding in the logo image, and I'm ending up with a complete promo, or I keep calling it a promo, YouTube intro that I can use for the videos. So the third way that I created this YouTube intro video was in iMovie. So in iMovie, what I planned to do was use the video clip that I created in Adobe Spark and combine it with the blue screen overlay that I created in Keynote. So here I am just adding in the video clip that I had downloaded from Adobe Spark. And I chose the version that had music, although you can't really hear it in this portion, but at the very end I will put up one with sound for each of the versions that I created. So now I just want to line this up and add the blue screen video in. I kept going over this part because I wasn't sure if I really liked how the audio matched up to the transitions in the video, but so here I'm adding the blue screen. Now, as you can see on this, it's still, when you hover over it, it still shows that blue screen. So I'm just wanting to adjust this. How do you get rid of the blue screen? Well, you go up to that little rectangle where it says cutaway, choose the green blue screen option, and then it gets rid of that blue screen or green screen depending on which color you're using. Like I said, if you have blue in your logo, use the green screen version. And then if you have green in the logo like I do, use the blue screen, because it will take away the entire color and just leave you with like a black. In my case, it was a black and white version. So I just adjusting this portion of the video, because as you can see, there's not a whole lot of contrast between that logo overlay and the video footage. So keep that in mind as well when you're doing this type of a video, is that contrast part of it. You know, there is a reason why in Adobe Spark they were just using the white color. They also kind of put in what seems like or they darkened the video clips just so that white stood out a little bit more. So for me, I just decided to add a white background to the very end so that you can still read the logo better at the end. I think I ended up not liking the actual video clip, but I had made a different one in one of my other attempts that I liked a little bit better, where that last portion was longer. So I just brought that up instead and just repeated the whole process, just recolored that portion of the video clip, and then I had to take out the blue screen and adding that white background and all that kind of stuff. And so now I just save out the video, and there we go. Basically, what I have is a YouTube intro created 3 different ways. In the first way, you used Keynote to create a simple logo animation. The second way, I went into Adobe Spark and I created a short intro video using some stock footage from pexels.com, and you can create the entire intro using that program, but I also used it to create the footage that I used in the third version. And then in the third version, I went into iMovie. I combined the footage that I edited together in Adobe Spark, and I combined it with the blue screen overlay of the animated logo to create another style of intro for her videos. And that is it. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I will see you next week. I haven't yet decided what I'm gonna do. I do think it's still gonna go in the something related to her YouTube channel branding, whether it is creating the channel art, the thumbnails, or maybe even some animations for her videos to use in her videos, like the lower thirds and maybe the subscribe button. So we'll think about it. I'm not too sure. I'm kind of leaning in towards the animation, the subscribe button, and the lower third kind of a thing, but you never know. Until then, thank you for watching and have a great day.